As you have seen in the last introductory video, we can create quite useful report and dashboard in Google Sheet. And we'll start with some basic stuff in this video, and in the upcoming videos, you'll learn more. So that at the end of this video series, we'll be in a position to build similar kind of reports and dashboard in Google Sheet. So in this particular video, as you can see on my screen, I'm using a COVID dataset which is available on Kaggle, and I'll share this link in the video description. And this dataset is again quite similar to the ones that we use for analysis. So here we have a date column, a text column where we have the country information, and then a few numeric columns as well. And these columns, which are colored in yellow, so they have been added by me. So let's start by looking at the options available in the toolbar menu. So if you can see in file, we have the option to create a new spreadsheet. We can open available spreadsheets or import data set, make a copy of this spreadsheet. We can share it with others. We can email this with others. We can download it in different formats, or we can rename the file. We can move it in Google Drive, and then there is an option to look at the version history of this particular file. We'll get into the details of this later on. It's quite useful because when you are collaborating on a particular file with others, you want to see what changes has been done. So that you can do by looking at the version history. Then in the settings option, you can change the local layer of the file where it affects the functions, dates, and currency, and then the time zone in which you want to save the spreadsheet history, that can also be selected here. And it you can also change the how these function now today ran between recalculates, and there is an option to select the iterative calculation as well here. In the edit toolbar menu, we have some common options: undo, redo, cut, copy, paste spatial, which is quite useful. You can paste either the value or the format or the formula only, and then you can paste the transform from the data set as well on the only the column width and everything except the borders as well. And this find and replace, again, this is quite useful. You can replace a particular value in a column or even on the sheet with some other values, or you can just look for a particular value on the sheet. So if you look at the view options, you can look at the formulas on the sheet by selecting this option. And then there's an option to freeze rows at the top or the columns here. And then you can group a few rows or columns as well using this particular option. And then you can zoom or change it to full screen. If you look at the insert option at the top, then you can insert a cell right or down, rows above or below, columns left or right. You can add a chart, pivot table, you can add an image or drawing. You can look at all the functions available in the Google Sheet. As you can see, there are quite a lot of functions available here. And from this, you can understand that you can do a lot of stuff on Google Sheet. You can insert a link, you can add a checkbox, drop down, emoji, smart chips. You can add a comment and note. Now, this comment is again very important where you are collaborating with others on the Google Sheet. So you can assign a task to that particular person and he can complete it and mark it as resolved. Also, you can add a note so that anyone visiting the Google Sheet can quickly identify the important points related to a particular column or a cell. For example, if I add a note here, that it is derived from the tree column. Anyone who is looking at this particular sale can easily identify that, yeah, it's not something new. It's just the first two characters derived from the country column. Now, if you look at the format options here, you can change the theme. Then there are options to format the number, the text, the alignment, left, right, center, top, middle, bottom as well. You can wrap the text, you can rotate the text, change the font size, and then conditional formatting. We'll look at the details of this later on. Number formatting is interesting. So you can change the number format like this. So when I selected number, by default it was automatic. It added two digits after decimal here by default, and then you can increase the decimal places like this, or even decrease the decimal places like this. Then you can change the number format. There are many options available here. If I do currency rounded, it makes all these numbers as currency with dollar at the start, because again the local was US here. For date field, again the dates are kind of numeric only, so you can change the format. Here you can change it like this to this format, or some other format as well. So these are the formats that we have used recently, and some custom number, date, and currency format options are also there. For example, if I change it to something like this and apply, the date format changes. But I'll again just go back and keep it in the same format as it was already present. Now, if you look at the options available in data, you can sort the sheet by a column, you can sort a range by one column or many other columns. You can create a filter, and there are filter views as well. We'll talk about this later. You can also add a slicer, then name ranges, which is again quite important. We'll discuss it in detail later. And then name function, which is a newly added feature in Google Sheet. Again, we'll explore it. Column stat, we'll quickly see that feature in a minute. And then data validation, you can do data cleanup. Uh, you can remove duplicates, trim white space, and then you can split a particular text to different columns and data extractions. You can even connect to different data sets. BigQuery and Looker options are available here. In the tools option, you can create a new form. You can check the spellings, autocomplete, which is already there. Then this explore. So this is kind of AI feature available here. So here you can ask questions related to the data set, and you'll get those answers here. So I'm not using it much, but yeah, you can explore this as well. Then you can add a few extensions here, and they help. You have the function list. You can change the keyboard shortcuts. Then the training links, etc., are also available here. So we'll quickly explore a few things now. But before doing that, I'll just like to highlight that in Excel or Google Sheet, the numeric columns are always right aligned, while the text columns are left aligned. So whenever you load a data set, if a particular column is read as numbers, then you can observe that it will always be right aligned. Now in the text formatting options that you have seen earlier, You can change the formatting of this particular column like this with the options available here. So you can make it center aligned or right aligned as well. And then there are other options as well. You can make it all bold or italics or strike through, or you can change the color, etc. as well. Okay, and fill color, the text color, you can do that. And from the options at the top, you can change it to percent as well and format as currency as well. Okay, so there is one more important thing which I'd like to cover, and that is column stats. So, if you want to quickly explore the data set that we receive, for example, we want to see what is the date range or what kind of numeric values or text values available in a particular column, we can use this column stat feature here. So, I selected this particular column, and if I go to data and select column stat, I can see on my right what is the minimum, the maximum values. And in this selected column, there are total 4200 rows, and there are 100 empty cells as well, and there are 820 unique values. So all these useful information are quickly available here. And you can see that for a particular date, there are 5 rows. So this date is not unique here. So there are 4200 rows, but the unique values are 820 only. If I select some other column, I can see that, yeah, this particular column B, there are 5 different kind of values here, and each of these country names appear 820 times. The unique values, you can see it's 5. If I look at cumulative total cases here, I can look at the distribution here, and then the count. So there are 23 cases where it is 0, like that. Those counts are also available. Again, you can see total rows 4200, 100 empty rows. The total sum also you can get, the average, median, that is easily available here. Minimum and maximum values also. So we can get some useful information by using this column stat feature. But why do we need this? So I'll share one example here. So, for example, you receive some new data set, and you have been told that this data set contains a revenue for each of the products available. If you look at the revenue column in that data set, and you found that there are some values which are negative as well, then you can quickly identify that there is something wrong in the data set. Similarly, here in this data set, if I'm expecting that this particular data set should contain only 5 countries information, and if I see something different here, for example, if I see France here with 5 rows of data set, then I can quickly understand that something is wrong in the data set that I have received. So if I have to do the analysis for these 5 countries only, either I'll have to filter out those records for France, or I'll have to request for the data set again from the person that you have received the data. It can happen with, so by quickly understanding the values present in the data set, you can get a quick sense of the data, and you can understand that the data set that you are expecting and the data set that you have received is same or not. So we'll resume from this point in the next video. And if you like the video, do subscribe my channel. Will I'll be posting some useful stuffs more on Google Sheet in the coming days, and do share it with your friends. Thank you very much.